I chose adoption as my topic. So, adoption and foster care are my main emphasis for this topic, and I decided to focus heavily on reasons why children are in the system and also flaws with social workers because they are seen as heroes. But a lot of the time, social workers fail to properly do their jobs. So, as I said in the previous slide, many social workers do struggle to do their jobs properly. Another issue is that there are lots of false reports made against parents, or cases of child abuse haven't been reported, and many lives of children have been ended because of this improper reporting. Another result of improper reporting is what are known as short stays. Short stays are stays that only last a few days to 2 weeks. A child is wrongfully removed from the home. The home could be safe, it could be dangerous, it has to be investigated. The child is then taken away from the parents, and oftentimes siblings are separated from each other. These children are put into foster homes and forced to live with a new family. Now, research has shown that children removed from safe homes have the same problem sometimes as children that are abused because, in a sense, this is a type of abuse. Another problem with social workers is burnout. Social workers end up distancing themselves from the problems at hand at work. They quit caring about the children that they have been assigned to take care of, essentially, and they end up giving up. I have permission to say this. My cousin that I live with has had 13 different social workers over the course of time of her being in the foster care system, and she said that a lot of people just ended up giving up on her, even though their job was to be the one that had faith in her. Social workers need more training. A lot of the time they go to college and then they jump right into the job, never having even done like a clinical, such as doctors would have to do or nurses would have to do or anyone in the medical field. In a sense, this is kind of like the medical field. It deals with children's psychological issues, but it also deals with children needing support. I think that social workers should have more vacation time to help them avoid burnout because burnout is a massive issue that many social workers face. I also think that screening and psychological testing should be something that's essential. I say this because some social workers are psychologically unfit. Many social workers that are in the field have actually experienced childhood trauma, which does leave them a little bit more vulnerable. A child was put into care by a social worker. She was an older social worker. And the child ended up being murdered by the social worker. Now, this 2-year-old little girl, is what they say, was wrongfully removed from her safe home because of a false report and put back into the care of her biological parents. She wasn't the only child that's died, but then my next few cases are cases that could have been prevented had the child been removed from the home at the right time. The number one job of a social worker is to keep a child safe, and when they fail to do that, a child could die. The main case I focus on is Gabriel Fernandez. I was first learning about Gabriel Fernandez as I watched the Netflix documentary, The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez. He was an 8-year-old boy that was murdered by his stepdad and his mom after 8 months of abuse. He had siblings and they were abused a little bit, but not nearly as much as Gabriel. One point in time, his mom shot him in the face with a BB gun. Cops had showed up several times over the course of 8 months. Lots of people had turned them in for abuse. But the cops actually ended up threatening Gabriel and told him that if he continued to act this way and make false reports, it would be him in jail. And many, many more cases similar to Gabriel's have occurred. So, what I can do next is bring attention to the problem. I want to quit letting cases like Gabriel slip under the radar because they are massive, massive issues. And I will put fear behind me and I will start reporting real cases of child abuse now that I have informed myself. I'd also like to inform other people. Thank you. Where's QuickTime?